Hey JJ, welcome to the GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, let's first of all take a look at your posture, which looks really good. Spine's nice and straight and on a slight tilt. Your legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. You do hold your arms too far out away from you, and then the golf club works out to the ball. So ideally what we'd want to do here is just learn how to let your arms hang down so your hands are a little closer to your thighs. Then let the golf club work out to the ball. Perhaps getting the ball a little bit closer to you. I also think the club's a little too long for you. You should probably have a driver that's probably not standard length. From here, spine comes down. Legs get into a nicely unlocked position. So everything else looks really good. We can't be reaching like that and putting the hands, arms, and golf club just that far away from your body. It's going to make it difficult to make good contact with the ball on the face of the club. Anyways, from this vantage point, also want to take a look at your alignment, which looks good. Feet are running in this direction. We carry that out towards the intended target. Theoretically, club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera have an appearance of converging. So with that scenario, we can see that you're pretty much set up right down the center of the fairway, so it looks great. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. Flip them over to left-handed to mirror image you. Slide them over just a bit here. So we can see the setups are quite similar there. But you can see his hands are definitely closer to his thighs, which is what I was talking about with you. And to help you also do that, maybe a little bit of a shorter driver would be ideal. Now, as we go ahead and take a look at the golf swing itself, we want to create some good shoulder rotation, bring the arms and hands back as well as the club. Want to see the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. In the early stages of the golf swing through here, we want to start to create some good wrist hinge into play where we're going to transition the club head from now being below our hands to moving above our hands, and then working the club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the golf club at the top of the backswing, we want to have the right arm in the golf club situated on the yellow line, anywhere between the yellow-blue V zone, or physically up on blue like we see with Jordan Spieth. At this point in time, we also want to create full shoulder rotation, and we want to do this about a very stable left leg. Let's go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway. Due to the fact that, again, you're reaching so much, we're likely going to see this golf club move inside of your swing plane, meaning underneath the red line, which is exactly what just happens. So the club moves way underneath the initial swing plane. So if you'd started with the golf club in a better position and just made this move, the club would be on perfect plane. There wouldn't be any issues. Because I actually like where you are right now. So you're really not underneath plane. It's just you're underneath plane because we're establishing that original address plane line, the red line. It's out of position. So if we were more in position, let's say again, your arms are hanging down to, let me get rid of that. Say your arms are hanging down to about here. We have a little bit of a shorter club. Then this is where your actual original address plane. This is where it would be. Okay. So then all of a sudden we bring the golf club back. Look at where the club is. Right. It's not as far inside, but looking at the original red line, it's just way too far inside. As we continue to move back here, you got good turn. Let's get some wrist hinge into play. So you do there. Club starts to work a little bit vertically. Let's see if it gets across the line based on how you're moving the club right now. When we finally set this golf club at the top, you do end up moving your arms a bit vertically by the time you get to the top, but nothing severe. So you've turned well, stable left leg, arms are in good geometry relative to the core, club's in pretty good position relative to you. So that's a pretty good looking backswing from you. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the transition back into the ball. Simply want to move our weight from our left to our right. Fire our knees and our hips to the target laterally, unwind our core, and fire our hands. And in doing so, we want to bring the golf club basically from blue back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club has returned back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. Refer to this as the backwards check mark. simply means the club head is remaining above and behind our hands coming into the hitting zone, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone the ability to hit the ball straight. As I've already mentioned, the club is returned back to plane, and that is a main criteria in order to hit straight golf shots and be consistent. Let's go ahead and watch your transition back into the ball here. Great job dropping your hands and arms. Club is now rerouting back to the yellow-blue V zone from having been out of position and working its way back to red. So this is really good. Basically, what we can take a look at is the relationship between your lead forearm and your golf club is here. So the nice thing is we have our backwards check mark, and the club is starting to work back to its plane line. So as we continue to track the club head coming into the ball, let's see how we do with that club head. Hopefully it falls onto plane right now, and it does. And then we keep tracking into the ball, coming into the ball here. So if we connect the dots, you've done a good job here with your descending plane, getting the golf club to return back to plane, and it's approaching the ball in a nice formation here. If we go ahead and take a look at Jordan Spieth, again, we've already pointed out that the club has returned to plane, and then what we can see is the club just simply tracks into the ball directly from that red line. So, you know, we've got some similar characteristics coming into the golf shot for sure. And again, this is required in order to hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment, lastly assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So at this point in time, let's just check out. So you've returned back to the ball and you've stood up a little too much. Your club is too far off the ground, so you're going to hit the top of the ball, and then the ball is going to be driven down into the ground. Yeah, so that's exactly what happens here. Okay, so there's obviously a little bit of elevation change in your golf swing as well. We can take through your spine. What we can do here is sort of just take a look at your head, more so your chin. And we can see that when you get this golf club back, good head movement, but when we come back into the ball, look at how much you raise up out of the golf shot, okay? So that's causing you to top the ball. So we need to learn how to create a better rotational movement, maintaining the axis of our spine and not letting our head come up as much as it is. Through impact, we can see that Jordan's left heel is off the ground. And we just want to watch this continued activity of this left foot through to the finish. And we can see that left heel keeps coming off the ground up on the toe of the left foot. We can count the spikes in his left shoe when he's done. It gets the weight to the right side, allows his hips to square around, shoulders to fully rotate, hands high with the club back in behind us. With you, let's see what we do with our footwork here. So you get pretty decent footwork and you get yourself moving through to a good finish. So that's pretty good right there. Overall, some nice athletic characteristics with respect to your golf swing. Hands work really well. They come back. They fire through. Your core's working well. You get good coil back, good uncoil through. Got good footwork that allows you to get through to a good finish. So general athleticism looks terrific. And we can see here that you know, the athletic ability and the physical golf swing itself is a lot better than the result. So certainly you do have a potential to obviously hit some great golf shots through a round of golf. This just so happened that you stood up a little bit too much and hit the top of the ball. So when you don't stand up that much and obviously get the ball on the face of the club, you're going to obviously hit a much better golf shot. Okay? Anyways, I hope you had a great day, and I hope you enjoy getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.